So the tension and, of course, the standoff in the Strait of Hormuz is affecting global fuel supplies at all levels. So much so that we have a stark warning now from a global energy monitoring organization that could affect Canadian travel plans this summer. The head of the International Energy Agency says planes across Europe could soon be grounded due to a critical shortage of jet fuel. The CBC's Anis Haydari has been following this story for us. So, Anis, take us through what the head of the IEA said.
It might be just 6 weeks of jet fuel left for Europe. That's what the head of the International Energy Agency told the Associated Press. Now, he's blaming the lack of supply of oil, gas, and other sort of energy products through the Strait of Hormuz. And what he's also saying is that there could be flight cancellations soon. Now, at the same time, we are hearing about that and seeing that happen. KLM, the Dutch airline, says it would cancel 160 flights in Europe in the coming months. Now, it's because of rising fuel costs, according to KLM. And the company explicitly says it's not experiencing a shortage of jet fuel, but let's be real here. Costs are high because there's less jet fuel available. And we are hearing this from other airlines as well. Lufthansa in Germany on Wednesday, its CEO said jet fuel suppliers won't even give Lufthansa an outlook or a forecast going beyond 1 month. So they can't even predict what they're going to have for, the entire summer season, let's say. It's hard to say specifically what comes in terms of how many flights might be canceled or if more are canceled. What we do know for sure, high costs for jet fuel, less supply for jet fuel. And clearly we are already seeing fewer flights, at least in Europe, Arthi.
Now, Anis, what does this mean for Canadians, too, who are looking at this news? They might be trying to plan some summer travel. What should they be doing?
We are already seeing the impact of these high jet fuel costs in Canada as well. Weeks ago, Air Transat said it was going to be changing its flight schedule, and it was also going to add charges or maybe some higher fares because of fuel costs. We know Air Canada, WestJet are having to make similar moves in terms of price increases. Sometimes they call it a surcharge. Sometimes they just change the fare. So it's a little unclear where it's happening and when exactly, but we know that it is happening. Depends on exactly where you're going and when you've booked it. And it's not across the board, at least not yet. But if we look at travel agents, Flight Centre Canada has told CBC News that airfares have gone up since last year. Now, part of that, the agency blames on higher demand. But they also said, costs going up are going to be a factor as well. And they don't expect prices to come down. Flight Centre told us it's risky to think prices will drop in the current landscape because certainly we don't expect to see jet fuel prices drop. And that makes up, 25 to 30% of what an airline has to spend its money on. And the fuel analysts that we talked to say even if everything reopened back up fully as of right this second, it would take weeks, if not months, to get supplies back to where they need to be. Refineries have either shut down or ramped down a lot of their operation that produce this sort of thing. They can't just turn the taps back on fully like a bathtub, so to speak. So regardless of what happens in the coming days and weeks with the Strait of Hormuz, it's going to take a long time for jet fuel prices to drop back to where they were, if they do at all, and airfares will respond accordingly, Arthi.
Anis, thank you for this. That's CBC's Anis Haydari in Calgary.